State of New Mexico and Amazon's second headquarters here are potentially here, hoping, creating the backdrop for a play direct from New York City. It is called Fulfillment Center. It's by Abe Kugler and presented by Fusion Theater Company here in Albuquerque. James Wagner and Bruce Holmes, two very fine actors joining us to talk more about this show. First of all, Fusion Theater Company, it's, correct me if I'm wrong, one of the only equity houses in Albuquerque. Is that right? If not the only.
I think it's the only equity house in the state.
In the
if
state,
I'm not
really?
wrong. There may be something in Santa Fe now, but
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Okay, so we're talking about high quality professional theater. Let's talk a little bit about this show. What's it about?
My character, Alex, has got a job at a fulfillment center just outside Albuquerque.
Okay.
And that brings me and my girlfriend to New Mexico from New York City.
Wow.
And then we run into a couple of other characters. Susan, who's an older woman, a kind of a late boomer generation who comes to work for me. And
John, I'm sort of a little bit of a drifter. He's a guy that's sort of adrift in the world. He gets trapped in Albuquerque for a couple of years. That's another thing. The play takes place in Albuquerque.
Wow.
We're about an hour north of Albuquerque. Doesn't really specify where.
so it's really about like the way that these four characters, the way they kind of pass through each other's lives and go through some kind of change.
Now, was this a locally written play? Was this written, because it's not very often that you see a play set in Albuquerque.
The playwright is based in New York right now, although I know he's moved around a bit. But his parents moved here, so when he came to visit them, he was just sort of like stunned by the kind of feel of Albuquerque and being in New Mexico and how different of a feel it was for him compared to New York, certainly.
Okay.
So that kind of inspired him to place the next play here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, is this the first time that this show is being done in the state, in New Mexico?
This is the regional premiere, so this is the first time.
Premiere.
We're right off Broadway, and
No
we're the
kidding.
second company to do it.
Wow, that is exciting.
Yeah.
Premiered at the Manhattan Theater Club
Okay.
over the summer, and so this is the first, the regional premiere, first show after New York.
Okay. Now, you hail from Los Angeles, is
Yeah.
that correct?
Yeah.
Bruce, you have been here in New Mexico for quite a while. What do you think audiences are going to take away from this? Do you think they're going to say, I know what they're talking about, or they think, they totally got it wrong?
We were just talking about this. I think, one of the main characters, Suzanne, who comes to work for me, she's this struggling boomer. So I think a lot of the older audience that we get will sort of tend to kind of latch onto her as someone to connect to emotionally. So there's a lot. She's reminiscing about her experiences from Woodstock, and she's reminiscing about how she was changed by the music and that sort of thing. But all of these characters, I think, struggle in a certain way, and so it's not necessarily like. I think it has a lot of soul to it, so people, I think, connect to the difficulties that these people are going through, and there's some empathy and compassion that it tends to evoke. Yeah.
So now there is, before we lose time here, there is a Pay What You Can happening at the Chemo Theater, the historic Chemo Theater, and then the regular run of the show is happening at the Cell Theater. Is
It's
that
at
right?
the Cell Theater tonight at 7 o'clock.
Okay.
Tomorrow night at the Chemo at 7:30, and then it closes Saturday night 8 o'clock at the Cell.
Wow, so only 3 opportunities to see it. Where can we go online to get more information?
Fusion NM, New Mexico, fusionnm.org.
Okay, fantastic. Gentlemen, have a great rest of the run of the show. If you want more information on Fulfillment Center showing with Fusion Theater Company, just head over to foxnewmexico.com.